Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to SimPlay Motorsport. My name's Dan Davis, and I'll be bringing you all the action once again here for the Whodarron Cup. And we are live for our second night race of the season. We are here at Laguna Seca in sunny California. Not very sunny at the minute, but it is here in California, and also it's partially cloudy as well. I didn't even see that. But yeah, we are live here at California for the next round of the season here at the WeatherTech Laguna Seca circuit, back in America once again for another round of the season. I'll bring you all the action. Gary Carble in the chat already saying evening all, and good evening to everybody who is tuned in and watching the stream. We've only got 18 cars tonight, but still though it's going to be fast-paced action nonetheless. And we'll do a quick rundown of the championship standings while we get things ready and underway here at Laguna. It's Kieran O'Reilly still leading the way with 388 points ahead of Matthew Duffin in second. McGowan sat third with Yo in P4. Friedman sat P5 while Wright is in P6. Goudet sat in P7 with Skunky in P8, Leach in P9 and Langley in P10. No Langley tonight as he's away, I believe. So we've got Robert Ramsell sat in 11th with Aberdeen in P12 after a phenomenal Suzuka run, having two driver of the days for the Ginettas and for the Pro-Am Cup. He's done a phenomenal job there. Can he continue that pace here at Laguna? That is the question. But he is currently sat in 12th place position. 13th is Millington with Varga in 14th. Cranes is in 15th with Flop 16th. Tipping in 17th, while 18th is Bolton. Taylor in 19th. Cherrymore 20th and Archer in 21st. 22nd is Marsden with 23rd going away of Bell. 24th is Hoffner with Smith in 25th. Stardog in 26th with Johnson 27th. Storrock 28th with DeBont 29th. Horvath in 30th position with Cummings in 31st. Cox in 32nd with Williams 33rd. Best in 34th. Raiden in 35th. Rook 36th. Wheel 37th and Goodwill in the end 38th. Regarding the teams, it is Dapper Racing still leading the way quite comfortably with Greasy Bandits in second. Team GBR in P3, while SimPlay Racing is in P4. Team RM in P5 with Quantum Motorsport in P6. Team Piston Pounders in P7 with Bullbusters Racing in P8. P9 is CGT Motorsport, while in 10th is G&D Racing. Team Audio Sport in 11th, while in 12th is Roadrunners Motors. Team in 13th is Blunt Force Racing. Lexi's Industries in 14th, while Soldor Racing is in 15th. 16th is OWR Racing, while in 17th is 2Cs Racing. 18th is Team FBR, and Apex running out the back of the grid in that 19th place position. So that's the rundown of the championship standings. And like I said, we are here at what we like to call Spooky Laguna. Every single time we've come to this fabulous circuit, we have had some interesting races nonetheless. And obviously it's got some iconic corners around this circuit as well. And like I said, it's definitely a circuit that will challenge you, and it's tight. The sand is very unforgiving, and in general just a very tricky circuit to get right. So we'll see how things go this evening for the Whodarron Cup. Currently O'Reilly leading the way with Friedman in that second place and Yo in third. A little bit of knowledge of the circuit, the FIA Grade 2 circuit, and the circuit was opened back in 1957, 67 years old, and was constructed with about 1.5 million US dollars. Former names was the Mazda Raceway Laguna Seca. It's now called the WeatherTech Raceway Laguna Seca. And obviously its current formats that come here still today is IndyCar Series, IMSA, America, mainly just American events as well. GT World Challenge have been here, International GT Challenge as well. The lap time currently is held by Alex Palou in an IndyCar, and that was set in 2023 of a lap time of 1 minute 08.4. I'm not sure why I can hear myself in the background.
That's because my headset is too loud. Sorry, I'm late. Totally didn't lose track time.
Ah, Here she is, Lexi. Nice to see you in the chat. As I'm just doing a quick rundown of the Laguna Seca. What else was I saying? The current format is, like I said, 2.2 miles long with 3.6 kilometers as well. The surface is paved. It's not tarmac, it's paved, and it's got 11 corners. Obviously, the most famous corner of them all is the corkscrew, and I do have a stat about the corkscrew. Has a elevation change of 180 feet, which is about 55 meters, and obviously majority of that is through the corkscrew. The name Laguna Seca is Spanish for dry lake as well, so it's based on a dry lake. And yeah, iconic names as well. Turn 1 is known as Andretti Corner, named after Mario Andretti, former F1 world champion and multi-IndyCar champion as well. And like I said, Champ Car back in the day was very, very popular around here, and IndyCar still come to this circuit to this day. So a very iconic circuit. Lexi, obviously joining us in the party now, and give us a take of what you think of Laguna Seca. Because for me, again, it's another circuit like Suzuka, which it's great if you nail it one lap, but it's not very good for racing. I find that it's very tight, and the sand is very unforgiving, and the bumps here as well, the sausage curves, are absolutely horrendous.
Simple way to put it: if a rally circuit was turned into a racing circuit. That's how I would say Laguna Seca is, because corkscrew is crazy, and it's rather simplistic when you take away the corkscrew and you look at it. So yeah, it's a rally. It's what you would get if a rally circuit was made into a racing circuit, in my opinion. But otherwise, I love it. Laguna Seca always brings fun, happiness, and chaos. Especially the corkscrew. You should have seen Will Buxton's reaction to going through it the first time.
The funny thing is, I was literally about to mention that as well. I'd literally seen that same clip, and again, I don't think anyone will truly. I don't truly understand how steep it is until you actually go to the circuit. I think, where did I go? I went to Donington Park and didn't realise how steep the crane of curves actually goes until you're actually there. So I can't imagine how steep the Laguna Seca circuit is. But either way, it is a challenging circuit nonetheless. Still, to me, not my favourite American circuit.
Which one would be your favourite American circuit?
I'll give you a clue. It's a street circuit.
Oh, is it Long Beach?
Yes.
Well, too damn bad. It's not in the game. Choose another.
Well, I hope it turns up in a new Project Cars, or well, I say Project Cars, Project Motorsport game, which obviously the trailer has been dropped if anyone's not seen that. And obviously, if things go as planned, hopefully we shall see maybe SimPlay moving over to that platform, but we'll see how it goes. But nonetheless, we are here at Laguna Seca, and it is once again, Lexi, O'Reilly topping the tables, but Friedman and De Bont have really been giving him a hard time. No De Bont tonight, so Friedman might be in the pound seat ready to give O'Reilly a bit of a headache tonight.
Here's the thing about that as well. Correct me if I'm wrong, but this is going to be a night race?
It is a night race.
Yeah, so very different atmosphere, especially a circuit like this. Whoever voted on having this as a night race, I thank you, because Laguna Seca is already chaotic enough, and it's going to be even more chaos, which is going to make man and Dan's job harder. So thank you very much. But it makes it even more interesting, Dan. I mean, we know what this circuit's like during the daytime, so just imagine it during the night, how much it's going to be, and who's going to get that advantage, because honestly, maybe a hindrance to O'Reilly.
Possibly so, but also, with it being a night race as well, it's not a lit circuit, so I'm actually trying to change my settings so I can see the cars a little bit better. What is going on with my controller? It's doing some weird stuff. Hopefully we can see the cars a little bit better, but I doubt it. I've tried changing some settings, but probably not done much at all. Being a night circuit as well, I think it really offers a challenge, because it not being lit either. Suzuka had some lit parts to the circuit, while Laguna doesn't have anything. nothing's lit here except for maybe the gantry over the start line with the actual green lights. But other than that, nothing.
Well, do you know the reason, Dan, why this track has no floodlights?
Probably because they don't race at night.
Yeah, because they're not allowed to, because the neighbours complain.
Oh, so it sounds like Alton Park then, a noise complaint.
I mean, yeah, it does sound like it. Yeah, I mean, let's be real for a second. Why would you live next to a racetrack?
Why would you
if
build?
you
Why would you
complain about noise?
Why would you build a racetrack right next to a housing estate?
But fun fact: Laguna Seca was there before the housing estate.
Very true. Very true. Well, you could say that about every circuit. Why was Imola designed next to a river? You know, same with Spa. You know, but obviously back in the early days when they're first originally built, they don't really think stuff like that through, do they?
Why was Le Mans size back in the day?
Yeah, I think
that track was massive.
I mean, I still question why we have the Nordschleife, to be honest. Yeah, we got a couple of people in the chat. We've got a couple of people in the chat. Benny Varga saying, good evening, I was waiting for this track. So Varga seems to, what, more so than his home circuit at the Hungaroring? That's interesting. Tips in the chat, good luck to all the drivers. And Rip My Ribs says, I trust the hashtag 835. He gonna win, and that is Darren Yo. So we're only third at the minute and 7/10 off the pace at the minute. The track is still on fast at the minute, so hopefully when they go into the next part of the session will get quicker. But we'll see what happens. Lexi, before we get into this evening's race, any predictions of what's going to happen here this evening? Any ideas of who's going to win, what's the battle's going to be, and just your overall feeling of what tonight's going to bring for us?
Chaos at the corkscrew on lap 1, as always. Chaos at the Andretti hairpin on lap 1, as always. O'Reilly going to absolutely blister off ahead, and I'm going to predict him to win. I've got to get my predictions right eventually. Don always beats me at these. And just a whole lot of good racing action, because free practice has come to an end, and one driver, I think, has just got across the line in time. So we've still got the 186 out there who's making his way. No, it's checkered, so we should be tipping over, but we're not, as it's 16-degree track temperature, 16 ambient, fast track surface, no rain on the forecast, yada yada yada. You know how this goes. We've been here a whole season. It's a 10-minute qualifying session followed by race number 1, which now kicks off for qualifying. It's then a 5-minute break followed by 7 minutes to qualifying 2, then a 20-minute race, and then rinse and repeat for the third time round, Dan. And we've got plenty of these drivers coming out on the circuit, and looking at who is in front, it is once again Matthew Duffy. He's always out first in these qualifying sessions. Wow.
Well, he does get to reset the server, and usually the first one to jump in, because he knows when the server's reset. Obviously, there's no real advantage to it, let's be honest. You are at the end of the pit lane, but that's about it, really. You do have the risk of somebody being in your box as well when you come in. So if you have multiple drivers, the first place driver tends to end up having another car in, which can be a bit of a hindrance as well. Will Friedman in the chat, yo yo yo. Weird to have 2 weeks in a row with a night race. And good evening to Hibbs. Right, so regarding the night races, obviously we didn't, I say we, the Patreons got to the vote when the morning, the night races and the evening races were. So they chose the circuits, which Donington was the evening, morning was Monza, and the 2 night races were Suzuka and Laguna. So once they confirmed which ones they wanted which, it was then down to the wheel of names to then put the calendar in order. And lo and behold, we had Suzuka and Laguna back-to-back night races. So the wheel of names actually put the calendar together, and this is what we ended up with. So that's why we've got 2 night races, one after the other. So, but there you go. As Matthew Duffin exits the final corner here and starts his lap at Laguna Seca. And Lexi, obviously, you've probably done a couple of laps around the circuit yourself around here. What would you say is like the key to being quick around here? What is the real kind of like a door opening situation? What allows you to be quick around this circuit?
Not hitting the sand, Because if you hit that sand, say goodbye to your grip and say goodbye to your lap time. You want to push it over to the edge as much as possible on these curves, but that's about it. So it's about the extension, but not extending too much, and then also figuring out that corkscrew. There's only really one line you can take for it, which is absolute perfection. So you really want to perfect that going through there. But what about you, Dan? Because you definitely have done a lot more than me, because I'm going to be honest, I've been too busy rallying.
For me, it's the sausage curbs. It's just trying to avoid the sausage curbs around the circuit. I find actually the corkscrew the easiest part of the circuit. You can see Duffin coming through the corkscrew now. If you set the car up right so it doesn't bottom out, it's actually relatively easy. It's actually the corner after. This left-hander is such a nightmare of a corner to get right, and you do really have to be very, very patient with it. But if you do hit those red sausage curbs, it can annihilate your lap instantly, and you're going to be going off. You're going to be into the sand, which is so unforgiving. It's crazy. I had a spin not long ago in testing in the Lamborghini. I hit the curb on the left-hand side going up towards the kink, and it shot me into the sand. I could not get the car back on track, and that was it. Session over. So it's the curbs for me. It's the red sausage curbs that are the challenge around here.
No barrel rolls.
No barrel rolls. Only in the Chevy.
Oh, only in the Chevy. Okay. Okay, only in the Chevy. I think the last time we saw a barrel roll was at Laguna Seca, and Laguna Seca was at Kyle Army, and we both know who did that. So
I've seen a couple. It does tend to be the Chevy Camaro. It tends to be the car that tends to roll a lot. But I remember a clip not long ago when we had the GT4s, Jamal Clouden hitting the curb at Barcelona and nearly rolling it there, and that was. Yeah, I've still got that clip somewhere. It was absolutely phenomenal. I couldn't believe it happened. But either way, we're into the qualifying session now, and it's O'Reilly once again setting the pace. But Benny Varga straight away into that second place position, looking good at the minute. He's got a couple of cars exiting the final corner, and that's Horath going into P9, and Tipping is now coming to the line. He's currently 11th at the minute with a lap time on the board. No, there is no lap time. And I find as well track limits here. If you take the track limits around this circuit, it is going to hurt a lot, because it's not just obviously then puts you out of a lap time, it then puts you in the sand, in the dirt, and you've got to try and clear those tyres as quickly as you can, as Duffin gets within a 2/10, and then O'Reilly goes within 1.5 ahead.
Yeah, so not too bad. Rob Smith also gets a slight improvement on the board. Now 18 drivers. Yo goes to P number 2 momentarily, but down by Matt Wright before Commentator Motorsport, who now goes P number 2. 1.370 though off O'Reilly, who is at the top currently. So that's what's happened there. Vargas sits P number 5, so not too bad.
Now. He did improve, but only by a 10th, and doesn't really get him anywhere else.
So slight improvement as everybody's going up the board. I will mention this though, Dan. We've got a bit of a smaller grid tonight.
Yeah, we only got 18 tonight. We've got DeBont has made it into the session as well. I'm not sure if he's even coming out for this qualifying session. If he's not, then he is coming out. He just went on board with him and he's slowly trundling his way out. So this is a very, very important qualifying run here for him. He needs to get at least within the top 5, I would say. Try and see where he is in the standings. He's not very high in the standings, so he is currently. He's currently 29th, so he's not really going to affect the guys at the top. Friedman, though, is the man who's on the move. They're trying to catch Darren Yeo, also trying to catch McGowan. No McGowan tonight here at the minute, so he's going to try and outscore him, which Duffin is only a couple of points ahead of him. So with a couple of good rounds, Will Friedman can really give Duffin a bit of a headache for second place in the championship, as could Yeo as well. So, but with obviously less and less cars being on the grid, the more and more likely that they're going to have less bad rounds. And O'Reilly, once again, smashing the lap times, 29.6, 1.5 ahead of Duffin. The man's on a roll at the minute.
And on a rampage. So, we'll see what these guys can do. We've got Aberdeen as well, who's out there. Currently no lap time on the board for him coming into the corkscrew. at the moment in time for the 69. We've seen what he can do throughout this season. A little bit of a rear end wobble there coming through the corkscrew. 3 drivers out on circuit yet set lap times, 2 sat in the pit lane. Yo goes back to the pits for his little bit of a return. That may be his qualifying session done. I don't think he's got enough time to get back out and get a proper qualifying lap time in. Going to have Aberdeen now around the final corner here at Laguna Seca. Good to go for the run to the line. Quite a bit of a run down to the line here, Dan, but it's going to be one which the 69 is going to look for. Goes to the line, goes P number 10, 2.629 off the top.
Yeah, sorry about that. I was just plugging my headset into the battery. So fantastic. Yeah, Aberdeen crossing the line. He had a fantastic Suzuka, taking a driver of the day, not just in the Whodarron Cup, but also in the Pro-Ams as well. He was on a charge at Suzuka. He was looking phenomenal. Again, O'Reilly's still not improving on his lap time there, but it's a hefty gap already to Benny Varga, who 1.4. He said he likes this circuit, but still. Reminder as well, O'Reilly's carrying 40 kilos on top of what he's running as well. 40 kilos, and he's produced a lap time of that. Will Friedman now gets within 9/10 of him, but that's about it. Goudet now within a second. So the lap times are coming down. It just seems like O'Reilly's able to get the car in the window quicker than others.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. This is one of the things that we've also got to consider, though, Dan. Whilst it may hinder the car, is it really hindering O'Reilly? Because he's had that ballast for realistically the entire season now. So would it actually hinder him more to have the ballast removed? Because if anything, he's gotten used to that car with that much added weight. So it could be to the fact that O'Reilly's just used to it at this point.
Regarding testing though, obviously the way the server works here at SimPlay Motorsport, obviously we follow the calendar for both series. So obviously the Whodarron Cup will follow what the GT3s run. And in this case, the Bonk gets himself into 7th place. So in this case, the BOP is applied for the GT3s on the server, not for the GT4s, and not for them. So we can't just allocate each driver certain ballast, because we just can't, because the BOP is applied. So everyone uses the same server, everyone uses the same the same settings as such, but we can't just change it in and out. So O'Reilly's actually been testing with no ballast on board, and then when it comes to race night, that's the first time he's introduced to the ballast. So you kind of go in a little bit blind. If you know you've got a fast car underneath you and then the ballast is put on, who knows what kind of a rocket ship you have. You could also balance it out by adding fuel. I know that's what Duffin does. He adds quite a lot of bit of fuel to the car, interpretation of the weight on board. So you know, there is ways around it. As we come to the end of the session, Mellington has gone P8. I really don't see O'Reilly's time being threatened, and neither does he. He's in the pit lane. But yeah, I think that's, you know, the only thing that O'Reilly can do. And obviously a lot of experience in the Honda as well around here will definitely help him also.
That is the part which we need to keep in mind. I mean, we're going to find out when we get into the racing action, Dan. But I think that, let's be honest, qualifying, yes, it can set a grid order, but it's not Monaco. We're not in Formula 1 cars. We're not at Monaco, so the true point comes from when you get to the racing part, which we're going to find out soon as qualifying comes to an end. We've got 4 drivers out on the circuit at the moment who are on lap times, currently
Friedman
watching.
And Varga.
Friedman and Varga. So Friedman now going to be coming through these final few corners. Going to be going down into the final one now, and then onto the main straight. But let's find out. Looking to dethrone that pole position. 8/10 off the top time at the last lap. Goes to the line, still 8/10 down. That is qualifying done, Dan. We've got a race to come our way. It's O'Reilly up top, 129.676. Followed by Freeman, then John Goudet, Bon and Duffin.
It is indeed. Are we going to have another three-way fight? Goudet there seems to have found some pace in his car and really split the top 3. Obviously, the last few rounds, it has just been O'Reilly versus Friedman versus De Bont towards the front. So Goudet's put himself in the middle of all this fight as well, so we see what he can do. A lot of the drivers here will not be caring too much about, you know, the championship now, they'll all be focused on trying to get race wins, statistics, stuff like that. You know, everyone loves a good race win to their name, especially when they see it or on the social media as well. If you like what you see here, guys, then please hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit that bell to be notified so you don't miss anything here at SimPlay Motorsport. And if you do want to be a part of the action, then head over to our sim grid. Obviously, we're coming to the end of this season, but we do have fun events in the off season as well, so there's always a chance to sign up to them. So you'll be up in the sim grid, get yourself signed up and do your hot stints so we can then categorize you as best we can for the new season. And lo and behold, Lexi, 1 minute we'll be coming towards the end of the season, and next thing you know, we'll be discussing the new season. Who knows what it's going to be? It may not be GT4s, it may be GT4s, we just don't know yet. But we do know for a fact that it will be named under the Whodarron Cup Championship, whatever it will be. But also, guys, like I said, follow us. Follow our sponsors, Design Manchester and Audio Sport. All their information are in the bio below as well. I'm going to get underway for race 1. Lexi, prediction. Who's going to win the first race?
Because I've got to beat you at these predictions for once this season. So I'm going O'Reilly. I am putting the trust in O'Reilly.
I'm going to Bont.
Well, fair enough. Because guess what? We've got green. And the formation lap is underway. It is O'Reilly who lines up on pole position with Friedman lining up in P number 2. John Gooday will line up in P number 3 to start the second row with the Bont P number 4. That's your prediction, Dan. With Matthew Duff in P number 5, Benny Varga P number 6, Matt Wright P number 7, Millington P number 8, Yo P number 9, and Ramsell to round out the top 10. We've got Aberdeen in P11, followed by Cherrymore in P number 12. Hovarth in P number 13, Tipping in P number 14, with Bell P number 15, Rob Smith P number 16, P17 goes to Marsden, and Archer P number 18. If you don't know how this works and you're wondering what the classifications are, you've got gold, silver and bronze. You've got the golds, who are the white number plates with black numbers, the silvers are grey number plates with white numbers, and the red number plates with black numbers are your bronze drivers. Big shout out to Matt Wright, because he is the one who was able to help implement that, and he does an absolutely amazing job at it. So that is how that lines up, Dan. But we're coming to halfway through sector number 2 now. You were going to say something, go ahead.
Yeah. I don't know what it was. My train of thought is gone. But it's nice to see a lot of people in the chat. Let's hear you guys in the chat. Hib saying good luck or go GBR Greasy Bandits Racing. Tinus FB. Let's go Will. I'm assuming that's Will Friedman at the front. We've got Chris Daines as well. I did a few laps in Matt's car earlier. I'm way off the lap times, need a few more laps. Lol. Crane's in the chat, let's go O'Reilly, and Clark was saying good luck to all the drivers. Laguna Seca, first race of the night. We've still obviously got the pros and the pro-ams coming on later on this week as well, on Wednesday and Thursday night. This formation is a little bit strange that's happening here at the minute, but it is Friedman and O'Reilly on the front row. Who's going to make it into Andretti corner first? That is the question. Lexi's going O'Reilly, I'm going De Bont. You get your votes in on the chat who you think is going to go to as well. We are slowly coming to the end of this season. O'Reilly is looking phenomenal at the minute. Can anyone stop him? Can anyone slow his pace down? We shall see as we get things underway here into the final corner. It's a long wait until we get to the start line, but here in California for around week 10 of the season, who's it going to be? Dapper versus TRM. We now wait for the start of the race. And instantly we are green and go, and away down towards Andretti corner we go. De Bont's already got the jump on Goudet as they head down towards turn number 1. And Will Friedman trying to go around the outside. Duffin also looking to try and go the outside of Goudet, but he's not going to get the job done. O'Reilly, more importantly, makes the corner. De Bont with a loose back end has lost momentum there, but has got Goudet right behind him, but not planning to attack. Meanwhile, Matt Wright going a little bit wide, and that's allowed Benny Varga up the inside and returning in that position as they all work their way through the first couple of corners. Everybody relatively clean and fair, and looks good for the first couple of corners here.
corners nice and clean so far. We've also got Matt Wright who's trying to go for a move on Benny Varga. Not going to work out that time though, as you begin the run up the hill. Known as Varga goes into the sand. That undulates the car, loss of grip, but he keeps it straight, thankfully, as the sparks fly in the Cali night. Gonna head now on to the infamous, famous, everybody knows it, everybody loves it. It is the corkscrew for the first run in the race, as it looks like everybody is gonna get through nice and clean. Too wide between Yo and Millington. You don't see that often. However, something has happened at the back. Bell has had a moment coming up the hill. So he is only just going through the corkscrew now, Dan.
Yeah, very much so. He ended up actually running wide at the kink and getting into the sand, and that was it. He was off, and then trying to get back on circuit as well was the pain. But O'Reilly finishes the first lap with a 7/10 gap, obviously fastest lap for leading the session. But he now leads the way ahead of Friedman, DuPont, Goudet, Duffin, Varga. Then it's Wright, Millington, Yo, Ramsell, Aberdeen, Cherrymore, Smith, Hovnath, Tipping, Archer, Marsden and Bell, as Marsden goes down the inside of Archer there and gains the position. Some of these boys might be struggling because they've been doing a lot of rally sessions recently, so back in the Ginetta they're probably going, wow, I've got no power and too much grip.
A little bit wiggly maybe on the rear end, but we need to go again. It is every lap which you think about. So now you go up the hill one more time. As you go through the left-hander, try not to lose out on the rear end. Try and keep that car stable. You've got not long left in this championship. This is going to be the 9th to final race in that regard. 6 more after tonight, but this is the 9 remaining. Up and through the crest, into the corkscrew. Holding on to it, that's going to be very deep. For the driver up in front, that was Steve Millington. Yo now going to look for an advantage. Rob Ramsell going to look for an outside move. Not close enough that time yet though. Aberdeen now coming into the fray. We're about to have a 4-car fight here. Wheel to wheel, side by side, a little bit on the rear edge, trying to slot in where you can. Insert your chips, and now into the left-hander in the desert sands. We now go racing onto lap number 3, Dan.
Oh, Duffin and Goudet have come together, and Goudet's been launched off into the right-hand side of the circuit. Major damage. I'm pretty sure Duffin may have clipped the inside wall, probably got a little bit too close to it, and then kind of slingshot into the side of Goudet, and he now drops down the order because of it. Friedman ended up losing time to O'Reilly, but then gained it all back, and it's now on the rear bumper of him once again. Duffin now with Varga chasing him down. Oh, and it looks like Millington's had a moment. He's gone round. Where's Yo? He's now on the back of Cherrymore, so I don't know if Millington and Yo have possibly come together, but Millington has dropped down the order, as has Ramsell as well, so those guys coming together possibly. And yeah, a lot of carnage in this second lap here as your top 3, and Friedman once again just losing time on the left-hand kink, and that just allows O'Reilly to disappear and DuPont to get on his back bumper once again.
What happened here was, I'm getting a replay here to go through this. It looks like a loss just completely on his own for Millington. But I'm going to get the camera shot again. Coming down in turn number 1, was it contact on his own or does he just spin it? So Millington, no, it is a tap on the rear end. So that is what happens there. So the 835 hits the 59, which then spins them round at turn number 1. Yes.
Yeah, Darren Yo hitting the back of Millington by the sounds of things there, and not what you want to do, and Yo kind of on the back foot at the minute. Meanwhile, Cherrymore, leading bronze driver at the minute, looking phenomenal at P8 at the minute. He's probably had some Weet-Bix that Aberdeen had last week, and is really on the charge here at Laguna. Hovnath, meanwhile, is onto at the back of Smith, also second place in the bronze class. Your leading silver driver at the minute is Varga, and he's giving Duffin a little bit of a hard time now. He's on to the back of him. Wright's not too far away either, and those 3 are batting it out for those positions. But once again, your top 3 batting it out like they did at Suzuka. Not as close this time. O'Reilly seems to have them covered, as O'Reilly actually goes a little bit wide through the left-hander of turn 5 there, and Friedman once again going through turn 6 as he heads down down the straight towards the corkscrew, which I didn't realise the corkscrew has one corner that's 8 and 8A.
Yeah, classifications on corners can be really weird. As
Oh,
they
wait,
want
hang
to...
on. Matt Wright's off with Varga. I think Varga's either come loose on the kink, and Matt Wright had nowhere to go and ended up collecting him at the same time. Matt Wright looks like he's got a lot of damage to his car. Varga desperately trying to hold on to the car as he now loses out to Smith. Now Hovnaf, and here comes now not Cherry Moore, that is Marsden, and he can't quite get the job done. Yo also dropping down the order as well, so this mid-pack really struggling.
Oh, so on the replay, oh, that is really bad. It looks like Varga going up into the right-hander had a moment going wide onto the going onto the sand. In fact, he hits the sausage curb, like you said earlier, Dan. Goes wide, and the sand makes him veer back on, and that is just a passenger for Matt Wright.
I did say the curbs are the... Oh, Darren Yo's now missed turn 1. He's just gone into turn 1, missed his braking point and hit Varga, and Marsden has given Varga a bit of a shove on at the same time. And Goudet, after being hit by Duffin earlier on, is slowly working his way back up the order due to multiple mistakes by other drivers. Meanwhile, your leaders O'Reilly and Friedman and DuPont still in tangent at the minute, just following one another. And Aberdeen and Cherrymore having their own little scrap as well. But it's all go at the minute as now Hovnaf goes up the inside of Rob Smith there. Job done for him, and Marsden now defending from Goudet. So it's all sorts of carnage going on towards the mid-pack here.
It also makes it a lot more interesting, Dan. We're not on an optimal track, it's only fast, so those tyres may not be in the best condition for the racing. We're now going into the corkscrew. So many drivers, very deep there. Poor Marsden going to be going around the outside.
Oh, that's gone off!
And the trees for massive contact! What on earth? Give me a better visual to that, Dan, because I heard your mic spiking.
Oh, my bad. Probably got the sound a little bit too high. But wow, absolute chaos here. We're catching all the action here. I just turned my mic down a little bit, but this mid-pack, no, another car's off.
What?
Who's that off? I saw another car off in the gravel. That was Millington. Millington's been off.
Everything's kicking off in the last 2 minutes.
We're not even got to the halfway stage of this race.
I know, like we got 5 minutes.
Meanwhile, more action happening. O'Reilly's had a slow moment somewhere because now Friedman is right up the back bumper of him. Deep down, I actually thought Friedman was going to win this race. I didn't want to curse him, so I've not said nothing. But at the minute, Friedman is looking racy here, and he's right on the back bumper of O'Reilly, hitting the sparks as they go through the corkscrew. Hovnaf has to pit due to the damage, but absolute carnage here at Laguna Seca.
Play here, what happens, because there's so many cars and there's so much chaos. First going through the corkscrew very deep. No wonder that kicked off the chaos. 420, in fact, this was a passenger that was very deep for the 387. Comes across and hits one car, spins them round. But later on, if I'm getting these cars correctly on the replay, because it's very confusing with these guys.
Smith's gone wide. That's going to give an opportunity for Goudet to possibly look up the inside. But he's on the wrong side of the circuit. He doesn't got to get a good exit either. So Smith trying to hold off Goudet. Meanwhile, Friedman, with the less weight on board, is right on the back bumper of O'Reilly. DuPont not able to go with him, but DuPont I don't think has had much testing with this car at the minute. So he's just trying to find his feet, I think. But Friedman right on the back bumper of O'Reilly right now.
Can confirm, coming through the left-hander after the corkscrew. Millington just lost it on his own.
Meanwhile, Friedman's had a great run up through the kink. He's now going to go side by side with O'Reilly towards the corkscrew, but backs out of it and didn't quite get his nose in quite long enough. And Hovnaf with a drive-through stop and go for speeding in the pit lane. Easily done here. Luckily, the Ginettas don't have to worry about it too much because there is no pit stop required. But obviously he's made repairs and gone a little bit too fast, and when you don't practice it, it does catch you out. But Friedman, no, really giving O'Reilly a bit of a hard time. Meanwhile, Smith is still defending heavily from Goudet, and Aberdeen has lost out to Cherrymore, and Aberdeen is facing the wrong way at the top of the corkscrew and doing donuts, so he's going to drop down the order now.
I was about to say, you beat me too, I didn't want to cut you off, but Aberdeen was up at the top of the corkscrew, so spun around in the barrier as well with the front end damage looking at that, so something happened up there, which we do not know. It's going to be looking slow, and that is going to be Rob Smith who goes into John Goudet on pit lane entry here at Laguna.
What on earth are they? What kind of water are they drinking here in Laguna? Because the mid pack is just absolute chaos. Darren Yeo has come into the pits.
I've got no words.
Archer's now up to P10.
What?
Archer's now P10 after all that chaos. I think Matt Rice ended up in the pits. He's pitted obviously for the damage. He's now 17th on the back of Duffin, obviously a lap down. Varga's now back up to 7th.
This is not MMA!
Is it just me, or is there a slight delay on the street? Might possibly be a slight delay. Yeah, hang on, I'm sorting that out now. Sorry, there's the settings that I usually have, but it's been changed since. I will sort that out for the second race, but sorry for the slight delay. We'll sort it out for the next race indeed, but yeah. Anyway.
I don't know if you like me, Dan, but my jaw is on the floor right now.
Goudet's off.
Jaw is on the floor and Goudet is in the gravel. That is... I've got no words. I've genuinely got no words. I don't know how to describe this other than welcome to Laguna Seca.
Indeed. We've got Aberdeen, Archer, Tipping and Bell, all from two different teams going against one another. It's Team Piston Pounders versus Roadrunner Motors at the minute, and it is Piston Pounders at the minute leading them out, with Aberdeen with damage to the front end of his car. So this is a close little battle between these guys. Millington and Marsden also close to one another, but once again Friedman hustling the back of O'Reilly, as I'll end the poll, forgot to do that earlier. Obviously majority reckon O'Reilly's going to win this race, and it's all still yet to play for at the moment. De Bomp just in the background minding his own business. Friedman getting close to them as we go back to this fierce fight between teammates of Team Roadrunner Motors and Team Piston Pounders.
Chaos. But we've got Friedman, who's now going to go for O'Reilly around the outside of turn number 1, but a bit too far back. I just want to say this, Friedman, thank you for using a white car. It makes it a lot easier to spot you in the night time.
Why do you think I made sure my team was white? Friedman, he's much better on the brakes and has so much more confidence getting through there. He got really close to the back of O'Reilly. These two have been relatively close when racing one another in the last few rounds, so they kind of know the judgment and know how close they can get to one another. And yeah, Friedman got quite close to the back of him there.
Yeah, well, this is the tricky thing when it comes to Laguna. Where are you realistically going to do an overtake? The main idea would be sector 1, so Andretti as you begin and then to the hill. But after that, the corkscrew, it's really hard to go to the far, so you've got to go single. You can't really get a good setup through those corners. But it's only really the first half, maybe the first quarter of the lap where you didn't really set up an overtake.
Meanwhile, Tipping has managed to get past Archer, and now Bell is going to get the job done on Archer as well. So the Team Piston Pounders have got the Roadrunners stuck at the minute, and Goudet's now catching them as well. So close racing so far between those guys, and it's just only 5 minutes left to go. If O'Reilly and Friedman come together, says Chris in the chat. I think they're both capable drivers not to make that contact, and we'll see how they go, as Bell are now trying to give the Team Piston Pounders a bit of a headache. Ramsel minding his own business a little bit. He's got Varga ahead of him. Cherrymore though, P5 at the minute, doing fantastic as a bronze driver here.
That's how you do racing. You pick up the pieces and you get through it. Cherrymore's been able to avoid all the chaos that's been happening in the mid-pack. So gotta give props to them, because that's how them get so far up in the standing order. Now you've got everybody else coming through. You've got the main gaps which you're looking at. You've got the gap between 1 and 2, which is about 2/10 at the last time in the sector. Then you've got the mid-pack from P number 9 down to around P number 13, where they're realistically just about within a second of each other. So they're the two big gaps that we're watching at the moment, because after that you've got the top 4 who are driving away with it. But well, realistically you've got the top 3, then Duffin and Cherry, then the rest of the grid. So that's where it stands, and we've got about 3 minutes 30 left on the clock, Dan, as the leaders are just coming back onto the main straight. If I'm doing my maths correctly, we've got about 2 more laps left after this one we've just started.
Yeah, it depends how much. Cherrymore's made a mistake. He's dropped down to 7th. So after we were singing his praises, he's actually dropped down to 7th now. So a mistake there from Cherrymore has put him down to 7th. So it's a shame from him. But Friedman is now looking really, really racy on the back of O'Reilly and is hoping to find a way through. He's looking left, he's looking right, but he can't find a way through. And as long as O'Reilly keeps the car on circuit, there's nowhere really for Friedman to get in front. He has got fastest lap of the race as well. So Friedman at the minute is doing everything he possibly can, but cannot find the gap.
Not find the gap. You gotta wonder, where will it be? You gotta make all your choices sooner rather than later if you want to get that win. So gonna look for it, and now you've got to hope for a chance up and through the corkscrew. Oh! Oh, and both of them cut the corkscrew. Very deep as well. O'Reilly has such a compromised line here, Dan.
Yeah, O'Reilly obviously defending the inside of the corner, and Friedman tried to go around the outside, and the slightest of taps both unsettled the cars and made them slide. We've also got Goudet now on the back of Bell. He'll possibly look into the left-hander, but he's not quite close enough. But Friedman once again onto the back bumper O'Reilly. Probably 2 laps to go, like Lexi said. And meanwhile, De Bont just did not capitalise on that.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta wonder, how is that now going to play
Bell's
into it? Who's?
Bell's gone wide at the kink. And all the hard work he's done getting past Archer is now undone, and Archer goes back through. Aberdeen meanwhile heavily defending from Ramsel. Both of them got damage to their cars. Ramsel looking to the outside, but can't get the job done there. Tipping not a million miles away from them either. So these two battling it out. I think Aberdeen's going to go a little bit wide. Just going to give Ramsel the outside heading into the final corner. They try to break later, but Aberdeen has the inside of the corner. Ramsel don't quite get the traction.
So now you've got to wonder, we got less than a minute left. Where is this going to play out between these drivers? You got one more chance possibly after this. These gaps are closer than ever up and through the corkscrew for the leaders. So many sparks, Dan. People may say that they don't like night racing, but this is one of the things with night racing. You get to see all the sparks flying like fireworks.
Yeah, you do. And Archer and Bell once again going wheel to wheel. Looks like Bell just holds off for a meantime and lets Archer go through. Oh, Aberdeen's gone wide, and that's allowed Rob Ramsel through. Now Tipping is going to come through. Is Goudet going to try and snatch another position? I think he is. Around the outside he goes. Goudet gains the position. Also, leaders now start the final lap, and Friedman is right there. He's right there ready to pounce. The Bont's dropped back off 3.7, so he's not really been in this fight. Friedman looking up the inside, has a sniff of an opportunity there, but can't find a way through. O'Reilly just putting his car in all the right places at the minute.
Places and all the right time. White flag flies, final lap of race number 1. All the way through now. You've got to have the run up the hill. He's got this lap to do it. If he wants that race 1 win, he moves his car to the right hand side, trying to put it into a gap, but it's not very jet into the left-hander. O'Reilly putting that car in an absolute defensive posture. Gonna look for the inside. It is Friedman, backs out of it, wanting to play the safe game. It's not over till it's over, but I would say that unless O'Reilly makes a mistake here, Dan, it is not going to be Friedman's win.
No, it's not. He's going to try and get through the corkscrew as clean as he possibly can. And basically, the final corner is going to be his last opportunity. And he's right there. There's a car just in front of him that's possibly going to be a little bit of traffic. I don't think they're going to catch him. Friedman looks to the inside. He gets a nose up. O'Reilly gives him the space. Friedman's going to be on the wrong side of the circuit, though. He needs to get a good cut back. He doesn't, and O'Reilly defends the inside, and O'Reilly will win another race here at Laguna Seca. A fantastic job once again from him. A massive defensive drive from him. He wins the first race ahead of Will Friedman in second. De Bont will finish in third. Meanwhile, further back is Duffin, and he's got a long way to go here as he only now comes out of the final corner. Duffin finishing in fourth. Benny Varga is going to end up in fifth. I'm trying to do the tables as we go along, but Varga, decent points there from him.
These drivers, you've got a few more coming through the corkscrew. Tipping, Bell, Gooday and Archer, so they're coming through. They've just come through the corkscrew into the final few corners. Is there going to be any moves for these guys here? Gooday will dive it up the inside off Bell. Going to go wheel to wheel, side by side between the GBR and the Roadrunners Motors car, but now up and under. Going to go for a late dive is going to be Archer, it seems. Very late, goes in and takes out Bell in the process. Gooday takes the scraps. Gooday with 2 positions gained there will jump up. In fact, no, Tippin gets P number 9 there in the final moment. So that is going to be Gooday, followed by Millington, followed by Archer, then Bell. Rob Smith is going to be the final driver to cross the line.
He is indeed, and what a chaotic race. Obviously, at the end of this session, I will make sure I get the settings changed correctly so that you're able to hear us clearly. But what a dramatic race we had there, Lexi. Was definitely entertaining nonetheless. But O'Reilly and Friedman once again going wheel to wheel, and what a drive from them.
I mean, it's expected, isn't it? We've seen those 2 drivers go at it this entire season, and now towards the end it's spicing up even more than ever. So that is what is happening. We're getting ready to go again, but we're going to have a 5 minute break. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications to get notified every single time that we go live, and get ready for even more action to come your way. It's dark, it's the Cali night, it's Laguna Seca. We'll be back soon.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to SimPlay Motorsport, and we are now underway for the second qualifying session here this evening as they now leave pit lane. Hopefully, we should have the audio settings changed and up to date once again. So apologies for that. Obviously, myself and Lexi obviously on different consoles. So for me, I'm broadcasting through the PC and talking to her through the Discord, while Matt and Kelly are both on the PlayStation, and obviously their audio doesn't need to be synced differently due to both of them in the same party on the same console. So yeah, it's not really needed, but obviously we need it synced so that it works out for you guys. So a setting that was missed, and something I'll inform and sort out later, but it should be back to normal now. It should be on point. Regarding the championship standings, Kieran O'Reilly still leads the way. He's now got a 401 point lead over Matthew Duffin in second. The third is McGowan, fourth is Friedman. Not long until Friedman will pass McGowan. Darren Yeo now drops to P5 with Matt Wright in P6, Goudet P7. Those guys are still mathematically in the championship hunt, but let's be brutally honest here, O'Reilly is not really going to get caught at this stage, I don't think, with 1,507 points, and he's got pretty much a 400-point gap over the next car. I doubt that's going to happen. So Skunky sat in P8 with Leach in P9, Langley P10, Ramsell P11, Aberdeen P12 and Middleton P13, Varga 14th, Tipping 15th, and Keynes in 16th, Flop 17th, 18th is Bolton, 19th is Cherrymore, Archer 20th, Marsden 21st, Taylor 22nd, Bell 23rd, Smith 24th, Hoffner 25th, Stardog 26th, DeBont 27th, Hovnath in 28th, Johnson 29th, then Stark in 30th, Cummings 31st, Cox 32nd, Williams 33rd, Best 34th, and Raiden 35th. The teams, meanwhile, that is Dapper Racing still leading the way ahead of Team GBR now. They're up into P2 ahead of Greasy Bandits and ahead of SimPlay Racing. P5 is Team RM with Quantum in P6, Team Piston Pounders in 7th, 8th is Bullbusters Racing, C GT Motorsport 9, G and D Racing 10, Roadrunners in 11th, Team Warrior Sport 12th, 13th is Blunt Force Racing, 14th is Lexi's Industries Racing, Sodor Racing in 15th, 16th is OWR and 2C's Racing in 17th, FBR in 18th, and Apex at the back of the pack. Whew. Right, 7-minute qualifying session, Lexi. Are we here? Are we there? Are you still with us?
We are everywhere.
We are here, there, and everywhere.
We are here, there, and everywhere. More specifically, we're at the WeatherTech Raceway, Laguna Seca, and coming down into the final corner with Matthew Duffin in the 55. That's exactly where we're at. And now coming down onto the main straight for the first qualifying run here of the second part in the evening. Going to be heading down at the line now for Matthew Duffin. Goes to the line, 1:31.582. That's faster than the first lap time in Q in the first qualifying session. And you want to know why, Dan? Because it is now an optimum track surface. 1 degree cooler as O'Reilly goes to the top. 1:29.928. So we are getting the lap times in thick and fast, and we're going to be even faster than qualifying for race number 1.
We are indeed. I'm just going to test the settings by finding a driver to take a lap with, go on board with the Bond, and just a quick run through everything. Know that the settings are correct. As we go on board with the Bond, who is actually going to start his qualifying lap now through the left-hand kick, heading down to Andretti corner, break it at the freeboard, and try and get the front end to turn in, double apex it, and try and avoid the sausage curve, get a good exit out of Andretti corner, then heading up towards turn 2, just past the 2 seats forward, getting himself turned in, try and avoid again the sausage curve on the right-hand side, try not to get too much of an oversteer on the exit, then into turn 3, nasty inside curve there, that's probably the worst of them all, and we can shoot back to the left-hand side, through there, into the turn 4, breaking the 2 forward, and again the camber should allow the car to just sink in and run you up towards then the last kick of turn 5. For me, the trickiest corner of them all, blind entry, hit the dip, don't run out too wide, and try and get on the power as soon as you possibly can. Head up to where it's then the famous corkscrew into the first part, break in just before the overhang, and then into the left-hand part, dropping down into the right-hand corner, and then into the final part of the corkscrew, and allow the front end to grip, get to touch the inside curve, don't touch the sausage curve once again, and then make it through the fast right-handed king. Allow the car to get into the camber, get a good exit through there, break up the two balls once again to the final corner. Can take a little bit more inside curve here and touch that sausage curve in at low speed. Get a good exit and a good run to the start finish line. That's the lap of Laguna Seca with the Bont, and that is going to put in P2, and he has found some pace here, Lexi. Finally, the Bont has turned up.
The Alps are looking a lot more tighter than they were in the first qualifying session, Dan. The top 10 separated by merely 1.654, which, when you looked at it last time, was about 3 seconds. So now we're getting a lot more tighter. So this is going to become the interesting factor. It's cooler, but it's quicker. So now what we're going to expect, because we've got less than a minute on the clock, who is going to be next to the line? There's going to be quite a few of them. The 208 goes across the line. Friedman stays number 3. We've got Matthew Duffin, who's going to be coming down through the corners. Also going to have a car starting with 8, which is going to be 8.35 of Yo. Going to be heading into the final corner as well. Matthew Duffin just ahead. Keep an eye on him on the timing board. Matthew Duffin goes to the line. He goes up the leaderboard.
P7.
And he goes P number 7, with Yo jumping up 1 in the order, P number 8. Not too bad for the drivers so far. Bell had a very unfortunate moment in the dying stages of race number 1. Now here in qualifying number 2, looking to right the wrongs. P13, unlucky for some, goes to the line, does not get out of P number 13 though. And now, as the time comes to an end, 4, 3, 2, 1. It is checkered, Dan. All these lap times, they're going to be the finals.
More importantly, the Bont has now gone fastest. He takes pole position, and thank you, Xerix in the chat, for telling me that the sound is now spot on. Friedman cannot improve, and he is done. He is back to pit lane. Goudet all still on a lap, and Cherrymore goes 12th with that one. Tipping Marston and Archer choosing not to qualify this time round. Oh, and Middleton's had a moment. He's off circuit. Can O'Reilly nab pole position back? That is the question. And Ramsel, meanwhile, going through the corkscrew. I believe it is the 8.35 of Yo coming to the line. Duffin can't improve on P8, so he's got a lot of hard work to do. He's got Ramsel, Aberdeen, Goudet, Varga between him and your top 3 and the rest of the Platinum drivers. Yo, after being promoted into Platinum not long ago, seems to be struggling here at Laguna Seca. Does not seem to be on the pace. He's come to the line now. Has he found the lap time? He does. He goes P6 and pushes Duffin further down. And we've got Matt Wright now coming out of the final corner. O'Reilly does, though, steal pole position back away from the Bont. And that is another secured pole position, unless anyone else can find the time. Matt Wright to the line. He now goes P5 and pushes a few of the drivers further back with that one. Next is Varga, and then finishing off is Goudet.
Gonna be going as you go to the line, and he stays P number 9. As that was a lot of going in one sentence, but that is going to be quali done and dusted. It's O'Reilly up top, followed by the Bont, followed by Freeman. Talk about flip-flop, Dan, because those two were going at it, and the Bont is definitely now on the pace.
He definitely is now on the pace. Can the race pace be there? Also, that is the question. But nonetheless, another tight qualifying session. The one that surprised me out of that one was Rob Ramsel out of nowhere with that P4 and only a couple of tenths off the leaders as well. That has really helped him out on that one. But we go into another race, another 20-minute race ahead of us. Another possible chance of absolute carnage. How's everyone finding the stream tonight? Are we enjoying what we're seeing here tonight? Make sure you hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. Into race 2 now, Lexi. First things first, what are we predicting? Are we predicting more chaos? Are we predicting a little bit of a calmer race? What we think is going to happen for this one?
It's Laguna Seca, so we have to, of course, predict there's going to be chaos. But I would say maybe a little bit more calmer. Everybody knows what this track is like now from that first race. Maybe backing off a little bit, playing the safer game, and seeing how, and just waiting for people to make those mistakes in front of them. But of course, we've got the Bont, we've got O'Reilly, they're on pole, Dan. Who are you going to predict to take the win in this race?
20 seconds.
I'm going to go de Bont this time again. I'm going to go de Bont.
10 seconds.
I think.
You're gonna go de Bont. I'm going to stick with O'Reilly.
10 seconds.
Either way, we could be completely wrong, who knows. But obviously the struggle that now O'Reilly has to do. He had Freeman the previous race and he understood and learnt how he drove. He's now got de Bont behind him. And I actually do feel de Bont has really been more of a threat to him the last couple of races than Freeman. I think Freeman is still trying to get to grips with the Ginetta a little bit. The man who's very much loving the Porsche. I've only known Freeman to run the Porsche, but I think he's just struggling a little bit in these Ginettas. He's now found the pace, obviously, in these last few races, but he was in the chat, oh my god, I'm already wet after a 20-minute race, and we've still got 2 20-minute races yet to go. So it is hot and sweaty, the drivers are earning their money. But the grid order, Alexi, if you want to run us through it.
I would, but I accidentally clicked drive, so I do not have the full order.
Brilliant. So I will instead is O'Reilly, who will start on pole position ahead of de Bont in P2. Friedman is going to start in P3 with Rob Ramsell starting in P4. Then it's Matt Wright in P5, while P6 is going to go the way of Aberdeen. Yo will start P7 with Goudet in P8. Varga P9 with Duff in P10. Millington in P11 with Cherrymore in P12. Bell will start in 13th with Smith in 14th. Hovnath in 15th. Tipping in 16th. Marston in 17th, Archer in that 18th place position. Guys, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit that bell to be notified so you don't miss anything here at SimPlay Motorsport. Have a look at our fantastic sponsors as well, Design Manchester and Audio Sports. All of their information is in the links below in our bio. And also, while you're there, the Sim Grid and your Discord should be available there to join SimPlay Motorsport as well. Once you've joined SimPlay Motorsport, you need to do the hot stint. Once you've done the hot stint, then we are able to categorize you in the correct category. 5 valid laps around Catalonia in any choice of car, obviously not a GT4, but a GT3 car, and obviously we need to see your stats as well to see if you're not sandbagging. But that's all you need to do. Obviously the off-season coming up very, very soon, which is some fun events, usually something weird and wacky that we come up with, and hopefully in the pipelines in the endurance race I really need to sort that out. But we're getting ready for the second race here, Lexi. Obviously we tend to go on and off between who starts the race, and this time is going to be yourself, but take us away here for the second race here at Laguna Seca.
The land of the sand. It is in Cali and it is going to be dark. You don't see this in real life, you only see this in sim racing. Nighttime Laguna in the GT4 Ginettas. It's the Whodarron Cup and race 2 is about to come your way. The end of the season looms, but we still got racing ahead. And as the formation lap comes to an end, all the drivers will go double file. One of them is off at the corkscrew, but that is going to be unfortunate for them, as all eyes will now go to the gantry lights. Green flag drops, we are racing. That's going to be a very, very good start for Ramsell. Not so much for P number 2 at the bottom. In fact, yes, he has. He's already into P number 1 on there, but now we're able to wheel inside turn number 1. Down into Andretti hairpin. Already going to be looking for a move. Is Friedman up the inside. The Bond got a good start now. Gonna lose out there, making his way through under the grass as well. Not gonna be there for him. Rob Ramsell now on the attack, heading into turn number 2. Already up against him, trying to fight through as it is all over the place. You get the timings coming through, but it's nice and square. Up ahead, or is it not? It's going to be O'Reilly who has got away scot-free as the timings have a bit of a moment, as that is Bell who is back to the pit, so not a good start at all for him. But everybody else seemingly got through nice and clean. Matthew Duffin and Benny Varga, something capping between them as they are towards the back now. Dan, that was a somewhat decent first half of the lap.
Well, what I can tell you is Varga did hit the back of Duffin as they went through the right-hander of turn 2, and around they go. Obviously Varga waiting for him, but de Bont Did get a good start, he got a good pull away, but obviously O'Reilly on the inside and Friedman following him, just able to muscle the Bond out of the way. Ramsel a decent start with Wright as well. So everything rather smooth and in control this time round. No really silly incidents other than Duffin and Varga, but all good so far, as meanwhile Goudet has really found the pace on his teammate Yo. He's already up the back bumper of him and looking to attack Aberdeen as they head now towards turn number 1 of Andretti corner, and Goudet through a sniff of an opportunity there had a look at Yo as Aberdeen's gone very wide through there, and both team GBRs go through, as will Millington. Cherrymore I think also, oh no, not quite, Aberdeen manages to hold them off. But Friedman once again fastest lap of the race and already onto the back bumper. I feel like race 1 hasn't already ended with these two still going wheel to wheel.
Got it. As you head into race number 2, as flames throw out the exhaust in the depths of the night. Heading up the hill, going to have all these drivers up against each other. Cherrymore, of course, chasing down Aberdeen. Hobbs going to be in the background as well as Rob Smith. Leaders are going to be O'Reilly, Friedman and De Bon already on this timing. De Bon, of course, losing out that one position. It looked like he was going to get into turn number 1. Ended up losing after going onto the sand. Here as you head into the corkscrew, going to be up against all these drivers. Hobbs is going to be up against Rob Smith, but no move done. Going to back out of it and play the safe game. And now through, everybody's about catching up. Bell's still in the pit lane. Don't know if they're going to be coming out onto the circuit. 18 drivers in the race, 17 on the circuit. And this just shows the absolute pinnacle of racing that you are watching. Maybe proving one of the reasons why SimPlay is best in the game.
I still don't understand how Bell manages to end up the far end of the circuit and not get teleported and ended up in the pits anyway. I'm not sure what actually happened there. But either way, Friedman up the back bumper of O'Reilly, and like you say, let's see the pinnacle of especially GT4 racing. I feel at SimPlay Motorsport and any other league, I've never actually seen the level so tight here. Obviously, sadly, with the loss of some of the MSA boys, it's got a little bit slowed down a little bit. It tends to be the top 3 now. It tends to be your rivalries. O'Reilly's made a mistake, and that's going to give Will Friedman a run around the outside of turn 5, and he's going to try and hold it strong on the outside. But O'Reilly, he did say in the Discord, I think he lost feedback in one of the corners, and I think it threw him off ever so slightly. And here we go again, Friedman with the run through the kink, heading up towards the corkscrew, and De Bont now getting interested as they go side by side up towards the corkscrew. Who's brave on the brakes? O'Reilly tries to be later. He goes in deep. He's going to get loose. Friedman's going to cut back underneath, and Friedman gets the job done. Will Friedman now leads this race ahead of O'Reilly. Now De Bont wants a part of the action.
Up and under at the screw, and now De Bon wants to fight. It's up and through into penultimate, then into final again. One more time, and you have De Bon, who unfortunately lost down lap number 1. He sees O'Reilly in front of him. He knows that rear bumper. He is gonna want to get past as soon as possible, because otherwise Friedman may start to pull away. 6/10 already on the start line, but now it's turn number 1 of Andretti. Going to be looking for it around the outside, possible switch back, but O'Reilly is going to hold the line, and that is beautiful defending from the Dapper Racing driver, as seemingly throughout the rest of the grid it has simmered out a little, but otherwise we're still going pretty cleanly.
There has been a move done. Goudet has got past his teammate Yo, and now on the hunt after Matt Wright. Meanwhile, Duffin has now caught the pack, and he's now past Archer, so 1 position gain. His next target will be tipping, so Duffin on a recovery drive here, and obviously after race 1, who knows what could happen. And again, it's simply those sausage curves. They're the most lethal thing on the grid, and O'Reilly's off. He's off at the kink. De Bont goes through, and O'Reilly, very rare mistake, has made a mistake. He's very loose, he's very slow, and Ramsel squeezes through for a P3. Can he hold off O'Reilly now? That is the question. He goes a little bit deep through the corkscrew. Speaking of Ramsel, I don't even think he knows if he's had a podium this season, so this could be his best result yet. No, he has not had a podium, so if he can hold off O'Reilly, this will put him on the podium.
Nico Hulkenberg, is that you? As into the final corner, going to be heading onto the main straight again. So many drivers. Question is now, how is this going to fare between Friedman and De Bon? De Bon waited for that mistake, and it paid off. Now has to chase down that leader in front, who has the clean air ahead of him.
Duffin's on the back of tipping. Sorry, Duffin's on the back of Tipping, sending it up the inside of the final corner, and job done. Tipping not really fighting Duffin too hard, kind of gave it a little bit too easy for him, and now Duffin now looks to chase after Hovnaf is his next target.
Target Archer chasing down Tipping in the process, down into Andretti. Not close enough for a move at the current moment in time though. Hovnaf is going to be right there for him, looking over the rear wing on my end, where it's pretty close between them. There may be a little bit more distance, would be preferred, as the headlights are very much shining through that rear window. But already down to 5 tenths in the first sector. Bond is on a charge, and he has got Friedman in the sights.
He has indeed. These two obviously dropping O'Reilly. That little mistake he had has pushed him wide and now into the back bumper of Ramsel, and Ramsel want to defend as much as he possibly can. He wants a podium to his name. Yo, meanwhile, has made a mistake, and that's allowed Millington a better run through the left-hand kink to head up towards the corkscrew, but Millington not with the confidence on the brakes to send it up into the corkscrew, which is a brave choice. Yo, still sideways through the corkscrew. Now Millington has an opportunity down the inside, and job done there. Millington getting the job done on Yo, and Darren just seems to be incredibly struggling here at Laguna. It was looking good throughout most of the season, and now he just seems to be struggling here. Meanwhile, Duffin now onto the back of Hovnaf.
American Hovnaf is going to have to defend again. Here we go. Matthew Duffin all over the rear end looking for him. Going to just follow the line that Hovnaf is taking through the final corner. Up and under, maybe looking, but he's going to keep it there for him. As down the main straight again we go. As that, is it me? This may be a glitch on my end, but I think Matthew Duffin's flashing the headlights.
Millington, no, that was a flash of lights. Millington and Aberdeen have come in together. I think, Aberdeen's gone off and looks like he made contact with Millington. So Aberdeen gone off. Duffin, meanwhile, trying to get Pat Hovnaf. He has got past him, and now he's going to go up the inside of Aberdeen. So a bad run through there. Mike Matthews says Tank has wheel problems and is not racing for the rest of the night, so told him to leave the server. So there we go. Steering wheel problems for Tank Bell there, I'm afraid. But Ramsel, meanwhile, still absorbing the pressure from O'Reilly, and DeBont putting the pressure on Friedman.
Pressure is there, but will it pay off? That is the question for all. Nearly halfway through this race number 2. It is 1-2 watch. A lot calmer than race number 1, but still the action that you love. It is down into the corkscrew for plenty of these drivers, trying to keep it all over the place. It's all over the rear end, practically it's nose to tail between Aberdeen and Varga. Through the left-hander now, down the hill. Going to be a move on the inside by Varga. Looking on the move of Aberdeen. Aberdeen is going to hold the line, but goes way too wide onto the gravel. And now that's going to send him off. That's going to cost him the place. Varga gets past. Lovely move made there to be up into P number 13.
Cheeky move from there. Opportunistic while he could, and sent up the inside of Aberdeen while he was too busy trying to find a way through Horvath. And now down the inside goes Varga again, working his way through the traffic. Meanwhile, Ramsel and O'Reilly side by side heading towards the left-hander, and O'Reilly going to try and swoop around the outside. Ramsel going to keep his nose there and try and force O'Reilly to go around the outside. He's still side by side as they head up to the kink. Who's the bravest through there? Ramsel is going to try and keep his nose in. O'Reilly goes side by side with him, and they both manage to get through the kink. Beautiful driving from the pair of them, and O'Reilly gets the job done and is now back ahead of Rob Ramsel.
But for how long is the question, or will he go on the charge like Bond did earlier? We got half a race left, and now down the hill, picking up that speed as gravity kicks in. It is going to be one for the ages as you head through these corners. You've got the leaders through the final. Through penultimate is O'Reilly. So the gap will possibly begin to close down, because the more you battle, the more time you're going to lose to the car behind and the car in front. So you've got to be careful, and you've got to decide where you'll make those moves. Martin is in the pit lane, so he is there. And there we go. That is everybody else pretty clean. But the battles right now is Friedman and Bond. You've also got Ramsel and O'Reilly, but O'Reilly's opening up that gap. You've also now got Matt Wright, actually, who's coming onto the back of Ramsel. So that battle between Ramsel and O'Reilly, that's giving the Quantum Motorsport 135 a chance to catch up.
Yeah, possibly so. And obviously, if O'Reilly's having wheel problems, it may cut out against it. Anything can still happen here. We've only got 9 minutes left, and you see Ramsell there just pushing the limits, kicking the dirt up ever so slightly. Millington now onto the back of Yo, and Yo now struggling even more, dropping down the order. He's now looking at Millington to possibly pounce on him. Marston in the pits, not sure why, as Horath and Tipping and Archer are your closest fights, and Horath there kicking up the dirt. But at the minute, it is looking good for Friedman, and Millington trying to get close to Yo. That gap has come down, extended, sorry. And Matt Wright versus Ramsell now is the fight that's to keep an eye on.
Left on the clock. Optimum track surface, 15 ambient, 15 track. No rain on the forecast. Now into the final corner, going to be going onto the main straight one more time. You've been on this circuit so long now, muscle memory may start to kick in. It's dark and it's tricky, but once you know it, you come to love it. It's down towards Andretti hairpin for turn number 1. Andretti corner, Andretti hairpin is basically the same thing. As now through the left-hander, and one more time, no move there, bit too far back for him. It definitely calmed down a bit more, Dan, which can be nice sometimes, especially around a circuit like this.
Well, Smith meanwhile losing a position there to Duffin. Up the inside goes Matthew Duffin, and a job done from him. Now Varga is trying to go with Duffin. Duffin's got very wide through Andretti hairpin, so Smith momentarily got a little bit closer to the back of him. But Varga now also going with it. He's now onto the back bumper of Smith. This should hopefully clear him relatively quickly, as Yo's made a mistake and has dropped behind Millington, so possibly going too wide through the right-hander of turn 4, and it's now lost out to Millington and dropping further back to him. Luckily there's a bit of a gap back to Cherrymore, so Yo can try and get himself back into a groove. Meanwhile, Varga putting Smith under some immense pressure here, heading up towards the kink.
Now that all the way through these corners, and now to fight. It's an interesting one. It comes down to this, but seemingly no move done for the time being. Everybody getting through pretty cleanly, as Varga actually had a little bit of a rear end wobble there and trying to catch the car for a moment.
That Ginetta of his seems to be very, very loose, but he is able to make it work, as Smith is still trying to pull away from Varga, but Varga's had his own little moment. For a moment there, Aberdeen was looking to make a move back on him and try and repay the favour earlier on. Meanwhile, Dupont has brought the gap down to 4/10 as Friedman takes fastest lap of the race, and Matt Wright now is within half a second of Ramsell as they now come through the split times. He's actually lost some time, but with them as well, Goudet's going with them, so John is hunting them down, and we've got Smith, Varga and Aberdeen close to one another, tipping on the back of Hovrath and Marston in the pits. Obviously that's going to be a retirement for him, but Freeman and DeBont meanwhile going at it towards the front, and DeBont, first race he was just struggling, maybe a few setup changes and a few pressures has now allowed him to find the grip, and maybe Optimum as well suits him a little better, but O'Reilly still scoring some decent points and on the podium once again. Ramsell meanwhile in 4th ahead of Matt Wright, ahead of John Goudet. Then you've got Stephen Millington in P7 with Darren Yo in P8, G. Cherrymore in P9 and Matthew Duffy in P10 ahead of Rob Smith. Then it's Benny Gavarga in P12. Then you've got Andy Aberdeen in P13. He gets a little bit late on the brakes there as he gets onto the back of Varga, but can't quite get him. And Horath is currently 17th with C. Tipping in 15th, Benny Archer in 16th, and champ drivers. And again, DeBont gets close, but not close enough.
Sorry, so far. Close, but not close enough.
Smith is off. Sorry, Smith's off in the right-hander of turn 9, and Smith losing a couple of aces. I think he's dropped down behind. He's now last, I'm afraid.
Oh no! Anyway, as we continue here, it is going to be the hairpin of turn number 1 for Andretti. As that is going to be Varga, who's making his way through in the Sodor racing car. And now we got the Bond, who is very much on the rear end. Oh my, he's very close heading into the corkscrew. Wood's getting jumbled for a moment, as that is going to be very close up and under. Up and under. Is it going to be a move there? Nope. It turned out the line did not work.
That was more Friedman. He went in way too deep through the corkscrew, obviously able to carry the speed he'd lost and through the other half and just kind of threw off his line. And you can see here it is really throwing him off. And De Bont now looking to the outside of the final corner. And yeah, that slight going deep into the corkscrew has allowed De Bont to really give Friedman a little bit of a hard time here as they head now up towards Andretti hairpin, and Friedman just sticking to the left hand side of the circuit, hoping that De Bont can't find a way through, and he's going to stick to the outside and try and get the better exit, but Friedman holds in the inside, tucks in tight, and De Bont meanwhile cannot find a way through. A sniffing opportunity there, but was not able to come through. Meanwhile, Yo has caught Millington back up, so Millington maybe a mistake, as now Duffin is on the back of Cherrymore, and Cherrymore again leading the bronze class. Another solid points position. I'm not going to talk about him too much because he did have a great race earlier on and ended up having an incident, but Cherrymore, another solid drive from him. But De Bont and Friedman once again close to one another, but De Bont can't find a way through at this stage.
Once again, up the hill, hold the line and into the corkscrew again. 2:30 remains on the clock for race number 2. Up and through, down the hill, you now begin to run. Gravity, do your thing. As Matthew Duffin now looking, trying to get past. That's going to be Cherrymore around the outside as Matthew Duffin, but just a bit too far back, maybe the outside line, not providing the best opportunity, and in fact making the loss of time even more gradual as you now head throughout this into the final corner as well. De Bont on the back of Friedman. 1:57 remains on the clock. We are going on to the penultimate lap, Dan.
We are indeed, and it is hotting up towards the end of this race. Meanwhile, Duffin and Cherrymore going at it, Duffin down the inside of 8A, and he gets the job done on Cherrymore. He gave up a little bit of a fight, but nothing too much there, as he kind of knew he was going to lose out on that one. As now Varga tries to hunt him down. Can he hold him off for 2 more laps? That is the question, as De Bont is still pushing a little bit, still trying to find the edge on Friedman. Meanwhile, Matt Wright is onto the back of Ramsell. I know for a fact that they will be in a chat together and communicating one another, but I don't think they will be holding position. I think if Matt Wright gets the opportunity, he will go for it. Meanwhile, Horath is under pressure from Aberdeen. It's all relatively close towards the back of the pack.
It's time, one more as you head all the way through. Everybody's trying to hold on to their positions right now. Got Matthew Duffin, who's still chasing down Yo, as Matthew Duffin actually has fallen off the back. You got Yo chasing down Millington. Gooday is not close enough to right, but you've got the balance. You've got Friedman versus Bont. You've got Duffin, who has Cherrymore Varga behind him, but you've also got Hovarth and Aberdeen. So they're the gaps which are closest at the last timing line. But however he's going to work out, as here we go then, final lap time as the leader of Will Friedman is going to lead. De Bont is there, but now maybe Friedman has just let De Bont past.
I don't know if that was a lack of concentration or maybe thinking that, I don't know if he thought that was the end of the race. That looked like either a lack of concentration or thought that was the end of the race. That's what it looked like to me. And De Bont snatches the race lead back away from Friedman there. I'm not sure, I'm pretty sure Friedman is going to let us know in the chat. He's done it once before this season. Was it this season or last year? I can't remember when. But he crossed the line thinking that the race had finished and it hadn't. So it may be one of them. But Will Friedman there, not sure exactly what happened.
We're getting deja vu apparently. You can hear it in my voice. That was very confusing. So De Bont now leads through the corkscrew. Okay. As we got Cherrymore still on the back of Vargas, still trying to chase him down. We've got Tipping and Archer still going to chase them down. But of course, De Bont is now leading this race after a very confusing moment at the start of it. But it is now going to be De Bont round the final corner, who is going to go to the line here. P number 1 here for the 838, 836. Lost a few on the start, made them back up, DeBon wins race number 2 at Laguna Seca. Will Friedman P2, and O'Reilly is going to come home P number 3. Very confusing, but it is racing at the end of the day. You got John Goodey, who's chasing down Matt Wright, but Matt Wright is going to get ahead on that one. Millington is P number 7. Yo right now behind though. Still going to hold on to that, heading now down the middle of the main straight. That's going to be Millington ahead of Yo, and then you got Matthew Duffin and Benedict Varga, who is going to be rounding out the top 10.
They are indeed, and Cherry Moore, another great drive of him, finishing in 11th place position. Horath in the end finishing in 12th place position for him. Archer is going to cross the line in 13th. Aberdeen is going to finish in 14th, just ahead of Smith in the end there, tipping, losing another position there. And the guys cross the line, and then Marsden finishing in that 17th place position. Another dramatic race, another chaotic race, and yeah, I'm not exactly sure what happened to Friedman at the end there, but we will find out very shortly. Either way, we're going to go to a quick break. We'll be back in a few moments time and ready for he says I'm stupid, he sounds like Charles Leclerc, and I guarantee he thought that was the end of the race. I put money on it, he thought that was the end of the race. But we'll be back shortly for the next qualifying session, so we'll be back in a few moments time.
Welcome back, race fans, and welcome to qualifying 3 and the Laguna Seca Raceway. Race 1, race 2 completed. Now, who gets the fastest time for this? It is where it counts. One more chance to go round this circuit. Some information. Unfortunately, there are issues for O'Reilly with the wheel, apparently. So that is something that may be a key factor at the end of the day. And we will talk about it because it happened at the end of race 2. And we do now have confirmation. Friedman thought the race ended, so he let off the throttle. That is what happened at the end of race number 2. So that is what happened, but we're about to get into qualifying here, Dan. And how does it currently look coming into this?
Just Charles Leclerc springs to mind at the minute, hitting the Baku wall. Friedman done it the previous season at Red Bull Ring and did exactly the same thing and lost the win because he thought the race was over and celebrated too early. So I just did tell him in the Discord, do you ever learn? And obviously clearly not. But yeah, into the final qualifying session tonight, the last chance for these guys to score some points. A few drivers suffering with issues tonight. Obviously O'Reilly seems to be having some old gremlins coming back to his wheel. It's been on and off multiple times with the force feedback. 1 minute it's there, next minute it's not. Hopefully whatever the issue is, he can get it resolved and fixed and sorted, hopefully before Thursday night, so that he can take to the circuit, because the last thing we probably want is a championship decided due to hardware issues. Obviously, if he does retire and he has hardware problems, it does not class as a retirement, nor will Bell's either. So they won't get qualifying bans. He also is having wheel issues as well and has decided for the rest of the night not to take part as due to danger to the rest of the drivers. The final qualifying session tonight, Lexi, it's all out, flat out, right to the end. These guys will want to take pride in this last race and get themselves mentally ready as we leave America and head back to British soils as we come back to the British circuit of Snetterton next on the calendar.
Honestly, this may be a hot take. Snetterton is better than Silverstone. But, Dan, not only that, after Snetterton, you've got the home of SimPlay Motorsport. You've got Donington Park, so either way, it's going to work out, and it's absolutely wonderful circuits because I hate Silverstone with a passion. I know, I'm about to get into hot water. Benedict Vargas just spun it in the corkscrew.
Meanwhile, Yo's lap has just been absolutely horrendous here. He's going to lose out to O'Reilly to the line. O'Reilly's going to set the benchmark of a 1:30.4. Nothing doesn't set lap time either, so Ramsel another solid lap time. Millington a good lap time as well. But let's get back to the elephant in the room. Goudet now goes fastest. Snetterton is better than Silverstone. What have you been eating, Lexi?
What I have been eating is lasagna, pizza, very actually healthy steaks, like perfectly good gravy. Northerners know how to make gravy. It's very, very good. We're going on a tangent here, but Snetterton is better than Silverstone because at least Snetterton has character. Well, Silverstone, way too flat. Not enough character, not enough runoff. Snetterton is better than Silverstone. People just need to understand it's a club circuit, and the GT4s are absolutely mega around there, especially the Ginettas that we're racing, because I'm going to tell you right now, Dan, they're putting on one hell of a show tonight.
They have done. The Bont's gone fastest overall, as we still wait for Friedman to come through some of the laps here. He's in a little bit of traffic. Obviously, when we get to the subject of moving on to Snetterton after this event, because I'm going to dig into that quite hard, I'm afraid, because for me, arguably, the worst British circuit to me is actually Awesome Park, in my opinion. But anyway, we'll get into that a little bit later on towards the end of the stream. But right now, it is the Bont setting the pace, ahead of Goudet, ahead of Matt Wright, ahead of O'Reilly, and Yo, meanwhile, is dropped off the back of him. O'Reilly with some clean air, crosses the line and goes fastest, but only by 0.06 of a second. And Ramsell again finds half a second on the guys in front and is looking good. Meanwhile, Duffin is stuck behind Yo and is struggling to find a clean window. Meanwhile, Matt Wright coming to the line. Goudet also improves to go to P4, but Matt Wright to the line, 7/10 off at the minute. Does he improve? He does, to go back ahead of Goudet. So lap times improving as we come to the end of the session. Cherrymore in the bronze class car heading to the line, just going to try and get Pip Smith as he can. Yes, he does, and a fantastic lap time once again from Cherrymore. Hibbs in the chat saying Alton Park heart. No, just no. Who was that across the line? I think it was no, it wasn't Horath, it was someone else. Aberdeen goes 11th. Varga, sorry, he goes 6th. And everyone now setting a lap time. Marston staying in the pit lane. And De Bont now coming to the line, see if he improves. He doesn't.
Well, less than a minute to go.
Snetterton's better than
Right, let's not go on a tangent here, Dan. Let's not go on a tangent here.
I'm
going to be going into the final few corners, and we're going into. Is he muting me? Who knows? We're watching the number 74 as he comes around the final corner. That's going to be O'Reilly. Is he going to get an improvement here? Going to be going into the line. O'Reilly gets to the line. No improvement there for him. Plenty of drivers coming to the line. Looking the board. It's going to be an improvement. I think that was John Goudet.
There's a poll up for you guys, ladies and gentlemen, to vote which you think is better, Silverstone or Snetterton. So get your votes in on which you think is better. Goudet to the line, does not improve. Duffin's still stuck behind Yo at the minute and cannot find a clean window. Cherrymore now coming into the final corner. De Bont is done. He cannot improve. Now we look to Will Friedman, 4.8 off the pace at the minute. And already, I think one vote has come into Silverstone. And yep, we're already in a lead here for Silverstone. Varga goes P8 as now the session ends. Friedman only 4th.
Damn. Well, he is having wheel issues apparently, isn't he?
No, not Friedman. O'Reilly's having wheel problems.
Oh, yeah. I'm getting so confused because we meant it right. Friedman was the one who, in race number 2, thought the race would finished early.
Yes.
It didn't.
It didn't.
That was the classic Charles Leclerc moment into the Baku wall. O'Reilly is having wheel issues apparently. Not seeming to be hampering him. He's up top right now and he's fastest.
Well, we'll see indeed. If it may survive only for a couple of laps, then great. If it doesn't, then obviously that's where the issue is. So either way, he comes to the line and he does improve even more, a 29.2. Who now coming to the line? It is that Millington? Yes, it is. He comes to the line. He goes to 7th with that lap time. A good time from him. Goudet, meanwhile, goes P3. So lap times coming in thick and fast. Matt Wright now exiting the final corner. He's got Benny Archer just ahead of him. He improves to go to 14. What does Matt Wright do? He goes 6th with that one. And wow, lap times there improving to the very own Goudet, Ramsell and Matt Wright there looking really good. Millington, another strong qualifying session from him as well. As we got a little poll going out at the minute. We've got 6 votes going at the minute. Silverstone 67% over Snetterton at the minute. Yeah. Yeah. If PN's watching, I know for a fact that he likes Snetterton, as does Jamie Brazier, who they're very, very much like locals to the circuit, so I'd expect them to like it. But oh no, now we got 7 and it's an even. Oh, now 8. Now it's back to 62 again. Oh. Someone's cancelled their vote. Oh no, it's come back in. We will get a race winner of this one. But Lexi, race winner of this one, we both got it wrong last time. I said De Bont, you said O'Reilly. It ended up being no, I said Free. I can't even remember what I said now. I have to rewatch the stream. I think I said De Bont. I did say.
I said O'Reilly. You said De Bont.
Oh, there we go. Another one again.
Oh, we're 1 for 1. We're 1 for 1 at the moment.
1. This is the decider. Right, who's going to win this one then, Lexi?
John Goudet.
30 seconds.
That is a bold bold.
Oh, right. I've already made one bold statement tonight. Okay, I'm going for 2. Who are you predicting?
That's Netterton.
We're not going on tangents. Predict.
10 seconds.
I'm gonna go Friedman. I think he needs redemption after his I am stupid moment. I'm gonna go Friedman. But we are getting ourselves underway. Hopefully Lexi's not hit drive this time, so she can take us through the grid order here.
It's Rally who lines up on pole position with the Bond P number 2. It is going to be John Gooday P number 3 with Ramsell P number 4. Friedman P number 5 with Matt Wright P number 6. Millington P number 7. Matthew Duffin P number 8. Aberdeen P9 with Yo P10. Varga P11. Cherry Moore P12. Tipping P13. Archer P14. Smith P15. Hover P16. And Marsden P17.
And I'm sadly going to have to end the poll for Silverstone versus Snetterton. And as predicted, Silverstone wins that battle, I'm afraid. But
F1 bias.
Unbiased.
F1 bias. Everybody votes Silverstone because F1.
I don't think that's necessarily true. I base it on from general feel for me, and I do well at Snap, but I wouldn't say it's a better circuit than Silverstone. But either way, let's stick to America, for example, because we're going a little bit tangent. We are here at Laguna Seca. Let's compare it to another American circuit, shall we? Let's say Laguna against Road America. Oh no,
America.
Road America. You're going Road America. I'm actually gonna say Laguna on that one again. I think Laguna is better than Road America. Road America is just dumb, complete and utter dumb for me. What about Indianapolis?
I hate Indy with a passion. I hate Indy with a passion. I know I'm doing hot takes, okay. Look, there's the best circuit in America is Daytona. I would stand on that hill for forever.
Do you know what? Scarily, I actually agree with you. I actually agree with you on that one. Daytona is probably the best American circuit that is there, other than Long Beach, but you know, Long Beach doesn't really offer overtaking opportunities. So I will have to agree with you. Daytona for me is probably up there as well. Sebring as well. Sonoma is also another good one. But either way, we are here at Laguna Seca here in sunny California, which obviously there is no sun because we're at night. But it's the last night race of the season. It is O'Reilly versus DeBont on the front row. Who's going to take the win? We now wait for starters' orders. And already we are green and go and racing down towards Andretti hairpin. And it is side by side between O'Reilly and DeBont. And Goudet with a decent start stays ahead of Ramsor as they head into turn number 1. Relatively clean and stable so far as they all work their way through turn number 1. Everyone looking good so far through that sector as Ramsell there looking up the inside of Friedman, and they get close and tight to one another, but in the end Friedman holds off Ramsell and gains a position there, and relatively clean racing from all there as Duffin under pressure, making a move on Millington. And also we got Yo and I think that's Varga looking to go around the outside of Yo. Yo's missed his brakes and ended up making contact with Aberdeen, pushing him wide. And Yo once again continuing to push him wide and then ended up in the wall. Aberdeen's now made contact and has gone off as well. So those guys are suffering there. And meanwhile, O'Reilly making up for race 2 is pulled away from DeBont, who's actually, behind Goudet. So Goudet with a brilliant start up to P2.
Yeah, Millington down the inside, got on the sand, but now gets through past his teammate of Matt Wright. That got very sketchy, heading into the corkscrew, but now that's nice and clean, side by side. You don't see it often. That's going to be Varga now, who's gonna go past Matt Wright as well. Matt is not having a good start to this race apparently. He's getting overtaken all over the place, but right now, I think we can agree, worst start has to go to Aberdeen. He's had an unfortunate run. Rob Smith is ahead of him as well. But now you head on to lap number 2, and it is O'Reilly who leads, followed by John Godet. Then Bont, as you got Friedman also in the background here. It's going to be the Bont who has to go a little bit wider to cover off the Ginetta that he's lurking behind. Now looking for it round the outside, but no move done for the time being. As you look for the right hand side again, no move. Ramsdell has a front row seat to this, Dan.
He does indeed, and obviously Goudet in front of them as well. You know for a fact that Friedman will be a little bit frustrated seeing John now. Obviously John with a decent pace at the start of this race, so he has every right to be there, but they're going to feel a little bit hampered now as O'Reilly starts to spread his legs a little bit and extend his lead. Spread his legs, that sounds inappropriate, but they head up towards the corkscrew now, and you've got Varga still putting pressure on Millington, and I think he may be looking to make a move with the corkscrew, but he's not quite close enough. And Varga on a little bit of a tear here, and Duffin trying to get to the leading pack as well, just behind his teammate, who Ramsdell has had a very, very solid night, and if he just keeps it under control here, he's had a very, very good pointsy night here.
Well, he didn't keep it under control in the corkscrew. He went very wide. He completely missed the braking point and went straight over the gravel. It's going to be the driver of Friedman who went wide there for a moment. Or is that that was in fact John Godet.
John went wide. He the bump went up the inside of him, caught him out, and John he didn't go up the inside of him. John missed his brakes and the bump just tucked underneath, and now he's going wide again. That's going to open the door for Will Friedman to come up the inside, but John's going to hold it strong towards turn 3 here, and Will just has to fall into place. That's allowing Ramsdell just to get onto the back of him as well. Millington, Varga really hanging it sideways, and now Matt Wright's going to look up the inside of the right-hander of turn 4, but not quite close enough there as the car goes wide. That was Millington, as just up ahead as well, Friedman down the inside of John, and John drops further back as O'Reilly's got a lovely gap of 3.1. How quickly can De Bont bring that down, and Friedman still side by side with John?
Well, we saw it earlier on, De Bont can close that gap very quickly if he wants to. However, the wheel issue is also going to play into that factor. For O'Reilly, down into the braking zone for the corkscrew. Ramsdell back into the fight. You've got Matthew Duffin, Steve Millington, Benedict Varga, Matt Wright, Jerry Moore, all beginning to close in as well. So we're about to have a lot more people in this battle than we might have expected. Race 2 was a lot calmer than race 1, Dan. But the question is, what we're seeing right now and how quickly and how close these drivers are getting, was race 2 the calm before the storm?
Possibly so. I think the main storm was actually race 1. I think the storm has started to slowly fizzle out here. It's a little bit more controlled here. As Duffin's now onto the back bumper of his teammate of Ramsdell. And the Team GBR boys and SimPlay are trying to score as many points as they possibly can, while Dapper Racing is just a one-man band of O'Reilly at the minute, but with him constantly taking race wins and fastest laps, it's really making it hard for them to catch him in the teams, as De Bont now starts to bring the gap down. Clean air, less weight, he's got no kilos to that car, and he's going to give O'Reilly a bit of a hard time now as Ramsdell starts to hunt down John. Duffin is going with it also. Varga still under some big pressure from Matt Wright, as Varga looked quick earlier on, but I think he's just got too much of a slidey rear end to that Ginetta. He just seems to be sliding every corner. Meanwhile, Duffin's gone off, he's in the sand, and he's going to have to try and keep it under control, and he loses the position to Millington now.
Yeah, in the sand, and you lose all your traction, so that's the unfortunate part of it. You would think you would get more grip in the sand, but apparently not, because racing and race tyres, very slick as you head into these corners again down the hill. Gravity does its thing with that very, very, very steep, which the cameras don't do justice for the corkscrew. But now you go again. Cameras never do justice to how steep things are, Dan, especially around circuits like these.
Yeah, especially circuits like this, Spa, and a few other circuits. Massive drop or hill climb. Corsa is another one as well. Until you actually visit them themselves, you never actually quite understand the amount of drop there is. Meanwhile, Duffin under pressure from Varga, and if Varga could tame the back end of that car, but O'Reilly pulling away from De Bont at the minute, and De Bont's pushing the limits there. He's all over the sand and gravel. He's currently P2 with Friedman now P3. John holding off P4 ahead of Rob in P5. Middleton P6 with Duff in P7. Varga P8 with Matt Wright in P9. Cherrymore in P10 with Archer in P11. Tipping in 12th with Hovnath in 13th. Smith in 14th with Aberdeen in 15th. Marston 16th, and Yo in the pits in 17th place position. Not the night for Yo. He's had a string of good performances, and tonight here at Laguna Seca is not gone his way whatsoever.
Yeah, not the night he might have expected, but that's racing at the end of the day. Things happen, and sometimes it's out of your control. Speaking of which, we thought De Bont was going to close in this gap. O'Reilly's opened it up by another 2 tenths.
He has indeed, and if anything, he's starting to fall into the clutches of Friedman again. So, yeah, O'Reilly at the minute, quite comfortable at the minute. Millington, meanwhile, went straight on at the corkscrew and has allowed Duffing through into the final corner. So, yeah, not really fighting against him. We got now Varga right on his back bumper, and Varga now going to look to the inside of turn number 1. A car is back into the pits. I'm not sure who that is because there's 2 cars in pit lane. But down the inside comes Varga on Millington. And Varga now trying to gain from that. He should hold the line. He hits the curb a bit too hard. And he will get the position, I think. Yes, he will. No, Millington's still on the inside. Now Millington with the curb. And they're still side by side. And Varga finally gets the job done. Aberdeen returning back to pit lane, and Marsden as well. So 3 cars in pit lane at the minute. So a really lowered down grid here this evening, as Ian in the chat saying Indy Road Course was the track I'd done my first ever sim race on. And St. Eden lads, Hibbs in the chat saying Mike has spoken, so it's confirmed as fact. Nope, Mike is not got the facts. He's only saying that because Alton Park is his home circuit. That's all I'm going to say. As Thruxton is the best British circuit. Simple as. That's because it's my home circuit.
Here's the thing. Alton's my home circuit, but I don't say it's the best. Donington's the best.
Anyway, like I said, we'll get onto that subject towards the end of the stream. Meanwhile, De Bont not really catching O'Reilly, and Friedman's not really catching De Bont either. Goudet kind of bit off the pace also, and Ramsell kind of staged there as well. P5 for those guys. Duffin, meanwhile, is in P6, and again, just not really gaining anything on Ramsell up ahead, as Varga is starting to pull away from the quantum pair of Millington and Wright in P8 and 9. And a little bit stale at this point of the race though, Lacey. Kind of not a lot going on.
I think we don't have Donington in this game. Anyways, but yeah, it was Marsden who went into the pit, by the way.
Sorry. What did you just say?
It's a shame that we don't have. It's a shame that we don't have. Oh my! I said Donny. I meant to say Daytona. You put my mind's on British circuits. That's the next 2 weeks. Look, it's 5 minutes past 10 at night. We went on a tangent about British circuits. Okay, look, my brain right now is thinking British circuits, not American circuits.
The home race of SimPlay Motorsport is Donington Park, which is at the end of the season, Lexi.
I know, Dan. I know.
Did you nap too hard or something? You didn't have a couple of brain farts tonight, I think.
I genuinely don't know. Like this is I've been sleeping normally, which isn't normal for me.
Hibbs in the chat saying Dan, Sunday Raceway is our.
Chat.
Sunday Raceway is a banger track. It's just an oval. Hibbs, I didn't know you were Cornwall local. Might have to meet you down at the raceway for a banger race. And Ian in the chat saying Knock Hill is the best track. Oh, who's that? That's gone off. That is Millington, I think. Yes, it is. Millington's had an off. I got so distracted when I heard Sente Raceway, and so distracted by that Millington's gone off and damaged to the front end of his car. He is going to get ahead of Hovrath there, but Millington front end damage.
Welcome to racing. Millington was too high up in the Millington was too high up in the race order, and the sim racing and apparently sim racing stewards didn't like that. So RNG happened, but he's down the order. But is that tipping? No, it's not tipping. He's falling further back. Oh my god, he's got Hovrath who's behind him now. So we said it. You were saying it was stale, Dan. It's not going to be stale anymore because we're about to have a battle.
We are indeed, and also Matt White is still giving Varga a hard time. Duffy's now onto the back of, sorry, Varga's now on the back of Duffin, and then you've also got Ramsell he's been let pass by Yo, so Duffin's still a fair bit behind Ramsell at the minute, but the gap is coming down, and Goudet's not a million miles away either, so it is going to hot up in the mid-pack as well, but Millington's already done Hovrath, and he's now moved forward and looking to try and regain the time he's lost. But Duffin under pressure here from Varga as I start doing driver of the day. I nearly put day driver. I nearly put day of the driver then. Now I'm having a brain fart. Oh, spooky Laguna.
Yeah, spooky Laguna. Laguna's always like that. Things happen What happens at Laguna stays at Laguna, okay?
Well,
what happens at Laguna? Stop.
Varga now attacking Duffin as they go up towards the corkscrew. I'll get into why we call it Spooky Laguna in a few moments' time, but it's definitely a circuit where we've had some very, very, very weird things happen in the past. Meanwhile, Ramsell has still got Yo really pressurising him. Obviously, Yo's not overtaking him. He's kind of just sat behind him at the minute. But yeah, at the minute, the back market kind of getting in the way. Duffin's flashing at Yo to say, come on man, get out of the way. I could be attacking Ramsell right now, and I'm not sure if Yo has been given any blue flags yet. That's the question. Whereas Varga's still putting pressure on the back of Duffin.
Indeed it was. If you heard my brother in the background, no you did not. As down and through these right-handers, plenty of time, 5 minutes left, Dan. What are we expecting in these final 5 minutes? Because, oh my god, O'Reilly's opened that gap by another 2 seconds since the last time we talked about it.
Yeah, he seems to be in a groove at the minute, and his wheel seems to be playing ball. Meanwhile, O'Reilly, if anything though, I think DeBont's made a mistake because Friedman is now onto the back of him. Duffin's still got Varga breathing down his neck. If I was Yo right now, I'd just be getting well out of this fight. Just get out of the way, move to one side and let all these guys fight. Obviously, I don't think he's been given blue flags yet. I can't see any blue flags, which would be strange. But hopefully they will be appearing very soon. As I start doing driver of the day, and Yo's, oh no, and there we go. That is what's caused there. Darren Yo, just in the middle of the fight, has hit Ramsell, and that's also connected Duffin, Varga, and Millington, as well as yeah, Darren Yo there making a silly mistake there, as I will get a driver of the day going now for you guys to vote for. Obviously, if you don't agree with the drivers I've put, then feel free to put whoever you think in the chat. And Friedman and DeBont still close to one another, as Duffin now will be under pressure from Varga towards the very end of this race. Ramsell, meanwhile, dropping down the order behind Matt Wright. He's now to 8th, as Cherrymore not too far behind him. Cherrymore, for me, has had a spectacular drive tonight, consistently scoring good points here, and easily the top bronze driver this evening.
Oh yeah, like, this second half of the season, he's really come into his own, Cherry. Like, it does show, like, the more you drive, the more skill you're going to get.
And possibly...
I should probably use my...
yeah, you should probably use your own.
I should probably use my own wheel more, but I've been doing... Look, time is awkward, okay? We have lives.
We do indeed. Meanwhile, Millington is now, not Millington, Matt Wright is attacking Varga on the inside of the kink, backs out of it and thought better of it. Varga was actually attacking Duffin. That's now kind of bit him in the backside and has ended up in pressure from Matt Wright here as we come to the end of this race. Friedman getting close to the Bont, but not really been able to do anything with it since. But Varga still trying to put pressure on Duffin as Wright's just behind him. Cherrymore catching Ramsell. Actually, no, sorry, Ramsell's pulling away from Cherrymore and everyone else in their respected orders. But Marsden once again in pit lane.
Once again in pit lane, unfortunate race free for Marsden. You got Varga now on the back of Matthew Duffin, going to be going down towards turn number 1 and then towards turn number 2. And Andretti hairpin going to be coming into effect. Looks for the outside line, trying to keep as much speed as possible. Matthew Duffin going to hold that line as much as he can. The slot down the inside is Matt Wright. Jumps onto the curb, big old bounce for the yellow in the darkness, and that is not what he would have wanted. Possibly a bit of damage on the underfloor of that Ginetta. Now through these corners into the right-hander again as you begin to run towards the hill. Still 15 degree, temperatures stay pretty steady around this circuit, but once again you never know when Spooky Laguna will strike, Dan.
Yeah, Spooky Laguna, I was actually going to say about that. The reason we call it Spooky Laguna is we've had a number of incidences a few times when racing here on project cars and even on ACC. I think we've had, let's get off Varga, he's lagging out a little bit. There you go, a term for Spooky Laguna. Yeah, I remember one race, I believe, somebody hit the back of a Mercedes-Benz here, and it literally gave us the slightest of taps, and the rear wing disappeared, completely disappeared, just shot off. Then we had all sorts of disconnections and errors previously as well. Cars disappearing and reappearing. Then loads of disconnections as well. Millington, meanwhile, has now got past Archer, so Millington is slowly working his way up. I doubt he's going to catch Archer. As Friedman once again gets close to the bomb, but not close enough. It's all kind of been quite stable here at the minute. But Spooky Laguna has given us some really, really strange races at times. And yeah, I think that's why we tend to call it Spooky Laguna. Every time we seem to run it, there's been some form of issue or problem with the event. Hopefully not this time.
Well, we say hopefully not this time, yet people have been having wheel issues. I think Spooky Laguna's already struck that.
Spooky Laguna, that's what I'm going to say. Spooky Laguna.
Spooky Laguna. When something happens, Spooky Laguna. Anyways, we're going to be going on to the back. Anything Varga into Matthew, into Matt Wright. It's now going to be chaos ultimate ultimate. Oh my god!
just when we thought it all calmed down, both drivers have ended up off and in the wall. I don't know if Varga's waiting for Matt Wright. Varga's returned to pit lane. No, he hasn't. He's still on track. It's his lag kicking in there. Meanwhile, Friedman has re-caught the Bont right to the very end here. O'Reilly's suited and settled here. He's happy to finish another race win to his name. But yeah, at the minute, the Bont hanging in there. But poor Matt Wright and Varga. They've both come to the pits. They've both stopped. I think Matt Wright's returned to the pit. Must have been major damage. It's pretty much the end of the race anyway. So he won't. If it's major damage, he won't get a qualifying ban for that one because he's pretty much done the majority of this race. But the Bont and O'Reilly now coming up to a slow Varga, and wow, another dramatic end to this event once again.
Laguna Seca never change. Never change. Anyway, out the corkscrew now. O'Reilly, 5.3 ahead. He's been absolutely flying, Dan.
He has indeed. Whatever wheel issues he's had, it seems to have gone away. It seems to have sorted itself out. But into the final corner now, your championship leader extends his championship lead even bigger now. He exits the final corner. Dapper Racing, the last MSA driver standing here in Ginettas, crosses the line to take the win. The Bont is going to come home for a solid P2 and a fastest lap to his name. Will Friedman P3 in the end, and John Goudet with a very, very good P4 on that one. So he'll be happy with that one indeed, as he comes now to the line. John Goudet, some solid points for him. He now takes P4. And then we look to Duffin, who is in P5. Or is he? I think he's going to swap positions with Ramsel. No, they're just having a photo finish to the line. Duffin crosses ahead of Ramsel to take P5 and 6 respectively. And then it is going to be Cherrymore, another solid drive from him, 7th for him. Archer crosses the line for P8, a good drive from him as well, staying out of trouble. Millington is going to finish in P9. Then Hovrath is going to finish in P10. Tipping is going to round up in 11th. Smith in P12. Varga 13th. Matt Wright in the end 14th. And Aberdeen 15th. Darren Yeo 16th. And Marsden retiring from that one as well. So another chaotic and a dramatic night's worth of racing. I'm now just going to get the tables updated. But Lexi, a quick rundown of what you felt of this evening, and just yeah, a quick rundown and what we look forward to next on the calendar, which is SNET.
Yeah, SNET's turn. Better than Silverstone. That comes your way next week. Spooky Laguna strikes again. Apparently, chat's blaming you, Dan, for that incident that happened on the penultimate lap. Other than that, race 1, nice and chaotic. As you hear my brother in the background, I'm sorry, he's playing Fortnite. As you have the rest of these drivers, pretty good night though. O'Reilly having a very good night. Same with Bon. A little bit very fortunate in race number 2. Charles Leclerc moment for Will Friedman, as of course Baku, yada yada yada. You know the story. And then otherwise, it was pretty clean across the board, apart from race 1. Race 1 was chaos at Laguna. O'Reilly won race 1 with Friedman P2 and DeBon P number 3. Race number 2 would be DeBon followed by Friedman, then O'Reilly, with race number 3 being O'Reilly followed by DeBon followed by Friedman. So a pretty consistent podium across the board, and we can speak to one of the men right now. O'Reilly, you are live on SimPlay Motorsport. Talk us through that race this evening at good old Laguna Seca in the night.
Yeah, I've run into a few issues tonight. Was struggling quite a lot with my wheel, so quite surprised to get through it, but you know, I managed to stick it out. It's not really in me quitting, so I thought if I can at least stay out of any trouble, I don't mind coming home with a podium or something. So yeah, just had a mess about with some settings on the wheel towards the end of the night, and managed to get a bit of feedback and fight the car a bit more. So yeah, overall it's a real bonus tonight, even just getting through it. So yeah, we've got to be happy with tonight.
Wins 1/3 on the boards for you, and a very far lead in the championship. Snetterton to come the way next week. Very different circuit. What are your thoughts on Snetterton? What's the plan going to be going into there?
I'm looking forward to it. Quite like the track. I've not raced there much, so gonna have to obviously figure it out like always. But yeah, I'm looking forward to next week. I think it's a good track for the Ginettas, with them being small cars, and yeah, I can imagine it'll produce some decent racing.
Obviously, sorry.
Yeah, you go ahead, Dan.
O'Reilly, obviously, a few seasons now, your wheel has tend to really affect what tends to happen with your racing at the minute. One season it was working perfectly fine and then died on you on the Aston, and then a previous season again. Is this the same issue once again, or is it something completely new?
I'm pretty convinced it might be the wheel this time. I don't think it's the base. Seems to be the wheel. I'm getting a lot of creaking from the wheel. Feels a bit like weak and flimsy. I'm not sure if something's just gone in it, but it wasn't as bad as when it was happening previously. That was sort of losing all force feedback. It's very hard to explain. It's like turning through nothing, and there's no slip angle. You can't really judge what you're doing. So, like I say, in race 2, I was all over the place, and I was convinced I wasn't going to continue. But like I say, I had a mess about with some settings on it, and it felt better. It's not right, so I'm going to have to do some troubleshooting and hopefully get to the bottom of it.
Well, hopefully you do, because obviously the Whodarron Cup is pretty much in the bag with a 400-point gap to the next car. But obviously that GT3 Championship is what your eyes is set on the prize. But hopefully you can get it sorted and it'll be fine for Thursday night. But nonetheless, mate, another spectacular job once again with 40 kilos on board. I bet that's really starting to hurt you, with Friedman and De Bont really giving you a hard time in each round so far.
Yeah, I mean, them boys are, you know, they've got the pace really. You know, I keep managing to obviously get these good qualies in, and you know, again, it does always help if you can get at least in the top 3. But then come race, it's a completely different story. You know, you struggle to get away, and like I say, race 2 was just a no-go for me, and I was ready to just sort of pack it in. But like I say, it's not really in me quitting, so you know, managed to figure it out for the last race and sort of break away with getting a better feel for the car. But you know, them boys are on fire, so I'm pretty sure obviously De Bont, I don't think he'll get any weight, will he? Near enough, so it's for even now to just look out for, and hopefully it just produces some good battles when it comes to the racing.
Indeed, mate, indeed. But nonetheless, you've been spectacular once again. And like I said, best luck with the wheel. Hopefully get it all sorted and ready for Thursday night. But once again, a fantastic job tonight.
Yeah, cheers, mate.
And that is it, Lexi. We now move on to the next round of the championship for the Whodarron Cup, which is, in your eyes, a circuit better than Silverstone, which still baffles me. I don't quite understand that. But either way, we go to Snetterton next on the calendar. What do we expect from there? GT4's tight circuit, not the easiest place to overtake because the runs aren't as easy as you think.
Well, this is the thing with Snetterton, you got to remember, it's a club circuit, and it's one of those circuits that has its own character. Of course, you got the corners like Bombhole, you got the infield as well, you got that long run through the right-hander of turn number 1, down into the braking zone for the turn number 2 hairpin. You've got the Bentley straight where you have it into Murray's, and it is absolutely wonderful. The 90-degree corner into the main straight as well. It provides probably some of the best action. Be careful of Bombhole as well, because that can create quite a moment. But it's a circuit with character, which is why it's one of the best, and I will stand on that hill. Although I will say, not kill is better than Snetterton.
Either way, that is that. We do head off to Snet for the next round of the championship. We've obviously still got the Pro-Am and Pros coming up on Wednesday and Thursday night. I'll be bringing you the action for the Pro-Ams, while Matthew Duffin and Kelly Davis will bring you the action for the Pros on Thursday night. Actually, no Kelly Davis on Thursday night. It's just going to be Matthew Duffin and maybe another commentator. I'm not sure, but at the minute it's just going to be Matt. But nonetheless, that has been the Pro at the Whodarron Cup. Lexi, just finishing us off, your driver of the day.
Oh, it's got to be O'Reilly.
You've gone O'Reilly. I'm going to go Cherry Moore after a solid night worth of points. He's done phenomenal tonight, which then tips that over, and O'Reilly is your driver of the day tonight. And that is all we have time for. But like I said, join in tomorrow night for the action. And again, a massive thank you to our sponsors, Design Manchester and Audio Sport as well. Have a look at their links below. Make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit that bell so you don't miss anything. And if you do want to be a part of the action, head over to our sim grid and get involved. I've been Dan Davis. Lexi's been joining me in the commentary box once again for all the chaos and action. We'll see you next time. Good night.